What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. We welcome Mr. Matt. Is it nuclear,
Mac
nuclear,
at nuclear.
nuclear? All right. I want to make. I don't want to mispronounce your name. I want to welcome the young man to the platform, and we say young because I think we're the old heads, and you are the
We are.
future generation.
Yes, sir.
You're not an old head yet, but don't worry.
18 years old. So
See,
Oh my
man,
gosh.
man, we were thinking 23.
He's younger than my son.
damn.
All right. Well, I feel younger already. Welcome, sir. Welcome. I figured we'd invite Mr. Nuclear to the platform today for a very specific conversation. Now, did I hear you right, at least your opponents correctly, that you have family that's not born American?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you heard the term tether before?
Yes.
Is that what they call you?
Apparently, yeah.
Okay, me too. I'm one too. Except I'm like the authentic beginning of tether. My son would actually be the tether. I would be the original instigator. And so we wanted to have a conversation because I really admired your performance on Jubilee, sir. We were actually talking before you got in here about how we were surprised that you didn't go off on my lady. But I told him, this is what I told him. Maybe I was wrong. I think he was brought up to not go at some people like that. Would I be right in that assumption?
No, you definitely would be right. I mean, the main reason why I didn't do it specifically was because I didn't want her to like quit. You have to understand that there was somebody who came up for like a minute and said that she was acting like an animal, and he had him kicked off the stage and removed from the set entirely because he said the word animal towards her and said that she was debating or speaking to people like she was an animal. And so I thought to myself, well, if I act a little crazy towards her or say something back towards her, then she might get me kicked off. And his clip never aired, right? They removed it from the entire thing. So I'm like, well, I don't want to end up like him. So it's probably smarter to try to remain respectful.
See, you're not as young as you suggest. That's a maturity thing because guaranteed I would have had my own recording device in my hat somewhere. And I'd have flipped some tables on behind because man alive.
Marlon, you would have got kicked off.
I wouldn't have got invited. Let's just be honest,
would.
okay? Okay, listen, people. I know y'all out there think that I should be on more platforms. I can't be on more platforms. It's not going to happen. I'm fine with it. I understand why they won't invite me to certain platforms. And I think it is my fault because I go too hard on folks, but I'm not going to stop that because I've lived long. I'm at that age, the old man on the porch. Well, get off my lawn. I'm almost there, and I'm perfecting the art here soon enough that I'll be able to whittle stuff at kids where I can be on a porch and if I get there, it's over. Internet is broken when I'm done with it.
I'm at the age where I just stare. I don't say nothing. I just stare.
I think the staring talks for itself.
And my look is a disappointed Asian parent whose kid, came home with a B-.
Would it be rubbing the head? I'm gonna send you to go pick rice. Anyway, the fallout from Mr. Kirk's assassination has been interesting when especially coming to black folk. And that was the biggest reason I wanted to come because I watched a couple of your TikTok debates, and the biggest problem I see you having is the same problem we have. Until you can tell me if I'm wrong. You will ask a question, and the question won't get answered. Yeah, like they'll say the question back to you because they really don't want to answer the question, and then go to something other. Okay, right. So in this platform, we answer questions. Okay, that's what I really value about your fact that you're gonna answer questions. So here's my first question to you. Do you think the response of black people to Charlie Kirk's death is a understandable one? Yes or no?
I don't believe it's understandable at all.
Okay.
It more stems from the fact that they have a lot of misconstrued understandings of what he said. A lot of what they quote to make him out to look like a racist or an evil person is things that have been taken out of context. And a lot of the times, when I do the TikTok live debates and they come up here, they mention those things. And I'm like, well, do you know the context behind it? And the answer is always no, not really. I didn't see the whole clip and stuff like that. And they don't really have the full understanding. They don't know that every single person that has worked for Mr. Kirk has never, ever called him racist. He has been plenty of black people that has worked for him. not to mention, I've actually went to Turning Point USA's headquarters. I was on his show 2 weeks before he died because he also invited me on his show to talk about my Jubilee performance. Wasn't racist towards me, was never racist towards Candace Owens or anyone who has ever actually worked for him. Black people have historically been the victims of political assassinations. Malcolm X, MLK, because somebody disagreed with those people, they thought it was okay to take them out. I know that the Black Americans really grieve those deaths. So why is it okay then to, celebrate and try to act as if it's a victory to have somebody who you politically disagreed with, that you didn't understand the context of what he was saying? Why would you celebrate his death? It doesn't really make much sense. So it's not understandable. It's not understandable at all. I don't think it's understandable to celebrate political assassinations of people who are not even on the far right. They're just Republicans and regular conservatives. Some people call him moderate, So absolutely not. I don't think it's understandable.
I think their answer would be it's justified because they see it as just recompense. It happened to a black person. It's about time it happened to a white person. They don't really care whether it's left, right, or center. It's a white person getting what they consider justice.
Right.
And I've seen this in people's tweets. Like, y'all know who Jameel Hill is, right? Jameel Hill. Okay. Now, mind you, don't forget, please. This is the same woman that does not like Black Americans, much less anybody Black that disagrees with the idea that Black Americans push that everything is racist, right? So it's interesting how conservatives have made all Black folks out to be leftists and Democrats. Okay, can I ask, Matt, are you a leftist?
Nope.
Are you a Democrat?
Nope.
Okay, and then the biggest question of your life, are you Black?
Yes.
Oh, damn it. I thought you weren't. Matt, so Matt's Black. Bro, are you Black?
Yes.
Are you a leftist?
No, hell no.
Oh, Democrat?
No, never.
Okay, Mr. White adjacent. I'm going to ask you because you're on the panel. Are you a leftist?
You kind of answered the question by yourself by saying white adjacent.
Yeah, you don't count.
I can't say they're Black.
Okay, identify as Black for just this question.
Okay. Right.
Are you a leftist?
No, sir.
I'm not a Democrat either. Okay, so I've made all Black folks out to be leftists and Democrats. It shows me you don't know anything about us. Now, she's speaking for every Black person. That's amazing.
Right.
These Black students weren't about to debate people who are telling them to their face they're inferior. They are inferior. That's not a political party thing. That's a dignity thing. I don't remember anybody ever telling Black people that they are inferior.
No.
Not even Charlie.
I know the context behind that, by the way, and it's
please
they're
enlighten me.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
they're
please.
talking about Cam Higbee. Cam Higbee has been, going and traveling to these college campuses and debating people and having conversations with these people on college campuses. And they went to an HBCU. And by the way, these people would never say anything like inferior or anything directly racist like that at all. They would never say such things. I've spoken to these people before. And they set up a table, invited Black students to come on and debate, and they basically ran them off of campus.
Right, I remember seeing that.
There was police there, and they were yelling slurs at them. Women were getting in their faces. People were trying to throw drinks at their car afterwards when they were leaving and they were in their vehicle. Very disrespectful towards some. And man, I mean, Trump, increased funding to these HBCUs, but seeing things like that makes me want him to, redact that decision. I mean, it's absolutely, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's really embarrassing. I mean, when we have these stereotypes of violence, of loudness, of being inconsiderate. I mean, when you behave like that, you're kind of espousing and expressing those sorts of stereotypes. So really, really disgusting behavior.
Yeah, and when it came to that HBCU, that whole incident there, I don't think that was something that was just random. They probably got their little Hotep Discord, and it was probably feeding all these young kids this information. So when they showed up and they saw these dudes in the MAGA hats with the MAGA signs and all the stuff they had, in their mind already, based off what they were reading, clips and phrases, they went in just automatically thinking that these guys are racist. They had no idea what they were about. They didn't listen to anything they had to say. They were just angry based off what they were getting through some group chat.
Yeah, no, they have this they believe that MAGA and being pro-Trump is synonymous with being so-called racist. That's kind
Right.
of their whole narrative. So if you go on campus with a MAGA hat and you invite them to a conversation, they're going to scream at you, they're going to freak out at you, they're going to call you names, and that's how they're going to behave. And it's just insane. It's insane how much they are trying to prove a lot of the stereotypes to be true.
And going back to like Kirk, Charlie
Right.
Kirk, they justify him getting killed because he supported Trump.
Right.
He supports Trump. He deserves to die. And we're going to blame Trump for his death.
Right.
So this is why they're out there praising it, because they hate Trump. Somebody that supports Trump loses their life for basically supporting Trump, which they'll push. And they're happy with it. This is why they're praising it.
You know, engagement farming. I'm gonna that hat thing is a true thing even on TikTok. Just so y'all know, if I were to go live on TikTok right now wearing this hat, I might have maybe 8 people in the room. If I went on there wearing a this hat, this is not even MAGA, by the way. Okay, this. Oh, they're gonna come in like 40 going north. If I took it one step further and I wore this hat, oh golly, man, I would be called all kinds of coons. And then once I put this on, it's over.
Right.
It doesn't matter whether or not you have an ideology. You could be disagreeing with it. If you wear the hat, it's content farming for them, and they'll come at you a certain way. Now, to the point about this whole aggression and rage that was happening on the campus. This is, for those of you who may not have seen it, this is it here. Okay, this is your guy right here.
Yep.
Now here's my question. I'm trying my best not to be what they would consider racist. Okay, I'm gonna try, but y'all know I also don't pull no punches. Okay, all right, cool.
Oh yeah.
My theory on this: if you don't want somebody to think of you a certain way, don't act a certain way. I had to learn that the hard way, right? People think of me as a bully, and so they stop coming to the platform to have a conversation. So what does we have to do? We have to adjust the approach, soften the blow a little bit, and that way, if I want people to come and have a conversation, then I have to be approachable, like Matt. See, Matt's approachable. I am not approachable. I will tell you right now, I am not. I am a let's just say I'm not approachable on a regular day. So, but with that being said, if someone tells me then I'm not approachable, can I really argue with them? Or does it bear out in the results of me trying to get debates? It bears out. I can tangibly look and say, you know what? You're right. There's something either about me, the way I present myself, what I say, how I say it, that causes certain people not to come and have a conversation.
Right.
That's called taking personal responsibility, folks. And if I'm okay with that, then I can't get mad at no debates, right? That would make sense. However, when it comes to these people, we're not violent. 2 minutes later,
Right.
You mother pack of flower throwing stuff at you and dragging the plate. Oh man, what? We don't want. Get out of here. You might as well wear like overalls and go back to like 1820 and say, "Get out of here, nagger. Go on, get out of here." Might as well say that, because that's how you acting at this point. You became the KKK mob all because somebody showed up that you didn't like how they look.
Right.
That's right.
So when people assume that you are a piece of crap because of that, don't get mad. Adjust your behavior. Take some.
Imagine if the roles were reversed. Imagine if it was imagine if it was a black student who came up, set up a table to have a conversation about, let's say, how he believed Joe Biden was a great president, and a bunch of white students came on, hurled things at him, screamed at him. You know, imagine if that happened. It would be national headlines. It'd be national headlines.
I think we should do it.
And you know what's funny, Marlon? These are the same people, the hoteps, whatever you want to call them, are the same ones that always talk about, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
They're always saying, well, let's just have a conversation about it, but they don't want a conversation.
Right.
They just want to go out there, show how black they are, show how ratchet and ghetto they can actually be, you know, perpetuating the freaking stereotype. And then got all the people back here that support them,
right,
looking at them like animals.
Right.
You see, okay, and this
It's
is the difference
embarrassing.
between me and somebody else. If I were white, I
Right.
might think I might not do this, but I think y'all should know me by now that my personality would not be any different if I were lighter skinned. See, but me, this is what I would have done. I wouldn't have called the cops at all. Mm-mm. I'd have sat right there and let them do exactly what I knew they were hoping to do.
Mhm.
I'd let them. Why? What? I'd record it all. You know why? I wouldn't have to go to another campus again. All that HBCU funding y'all got is now mine. I'm taking every last bit of your money. And you know what I'm going to do with it once I get it? Again, I'm petty. I would take that money and give it to the whitest school I could give it to.
I was thinking the same thing.
I wouldn't even use that money. I just go to some cracker school and say, yo, you know what? Here you go. Blam!
Ithaca University is thank you
What?
for your donation, sir.
I'd give it
Come
to
on, man.
Yale. I'd give it to
Right.
Yale.
And y'all might think, oh, so you're so just a piece of crap. It's like, okay, cool. But I wasn't the one that went there with violent intentions. I went there to talk to people.
Right.
And people didn't want to talk to me. Instead, they chose to scream and riot and beat me up.
Yeah.
Now, if that's the case, if this is the reaction of college students, what would I assume then the behavior of people who have not gone to college and have the same ideology and behavior with less restraint would do to me?
Right.
Should I trust them? No, I'm not going to trust you. No. The entirety of your division of people think violence is cool because you don't denounce it. You just, put people on t-shirts. So I just want to know if you just have a contract with, like, I don't know, Riddle Sports or something like that, or Rydell, and you just say, you know what? Yeah, we're going to make some t-shirts every year as long as we have like 50,000 of us dead every year. And when people like Matt point out the problem, that's an issue you don't understand because you're not from here.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you, Matt.
Yeah.
Since you're not really black, I want to make sure you understand this. I don't know if anybody has the guts to tell it to you, but I'm gonna be the first to tell you, you ain't black, bro, because you're not African American. Okay, I want you to be. I got to be honest with you. You're one of me, people. Okay, you're not black. But do you think a cop would stop you and say what kind of black you are if you did something wrong?
Not at all. Not at all. The thing is like we get this a lot from the foundational Black Americans, which they try to act as if, oh, well, your experience was so different if you're an African immigrant or if your parents were immigrants to this country or first or second generation. Not really. Like the thing is these cops that are supposedly trying to pull over every black person and kill every black person they can get their hands on are not, checking whether or not this person's a foundational Black American or he's that or this. It makes no difference, right? And so, yeah, I don't think they're checking for that at all.
Yeah, I agree. Here's a Miss Lemon. I don't know who she is. Her tweet was quite funny. Not funny in terms of I found it hilarious. She really think this could happen. I'm not even going to hold you. They wouldn't have made it off campus in 2010 to 14. Now, I want you to understand what that's saying.
Right.
Okay? Just be honest. We aren't saying that black people are violent. She is.
Sounds like a lynching.
She is saying that she would kill white people if they came onto an HBCU between 2010 and 14. That's the only way you wouldn't have made it off campus is if you're dead, right? But if white people say that y'all are Neanderthals and violent monkeys, then we would be called, if we agree with it, we would be racist, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you can say you would kill white people for just being on campus. I just want to make sure I get this right.
Right.
Right? We would be wrong to agree that would be problematic because we would be cooning, chucking and jiving, being
Tap
Massa's
dancing.
good boy. Yeah, tap dancing for Massa. That's what we would be. But you would be completely within your purview and rights to say, if white people had come on HBCU campuses in 2010 to 14, we would kill them and that'd be completely fine.
Right.
Nobody should see you as violent.
And these are the same people that cry about sundown towns.
Right.
These are the same people that cried about those white people that went out in Arkansas or somewhere and had their own little, commune. They were crying about that. This is why they're hypocrites. I can't take them seriously, man. Because everything that comes out of them,
it's crazy. I mean, it's like on one hand, you're crying because white people are perceiving a lot of the black community as violent, as inconsiderate, as being ratchet, as being ghetto. At the same time, you're priding yourself. Like this is a flex to her. It's not like she's just saying it in terms of like, oh, I hope this would never happen, but I think it would happen if he came around that time period or era. But she's saying it as if it's like something that is to be prideful of the fact that if someone set up a table, because he didn't say any words that were mean or racist. He set up a table and everyone surrounded him and started screaming at him and ran him off of campus. So if you want to kill somebody based on that, and then you want to cry about you being perceived as violent, I mean, how does this make any sense?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Right.
And here's our favorite guy.
Oh,
Good old Tariq.
Tariq.
Did you see that he had something to say to you? Did you check X at all?
I check X a lot, and yeah, of course, of course, he's not going to be a big fan of me. That's not surprising.
Yeah.
I just would love to sit down and have a conversation with Tariq and Sheed.
No, you
Love
don't. No, you don't. Trust me, Matt. Listen, I'm gonna put you on some game.
Pack his Xanax if you do.
Let me put you on some game about Tariq Nasheed, okay? Do you see how it was talking to Amanda?
Right.
Okay. Take that exact same feminine energy, put it in a black male, and then add him constantly putting on lip gloss or chapstick throughout the whole conversation and speaking to you as though he was your female principal.
Wow.
I don't know about you, but after about 5 minutes, there'd be no more conversation. I'd be like, you know what, bro? If you are a bro, I don't think we can have this conversation, man. Because he doesn't have any. I'll tell you this much too. He's not as smart as he likes to put out his information to be like. Because he takes a lot of his information from Grok and from AI tools.
Yeah,
he really does. He doesn't have an educational bone in his body. Because every time you hear him talk in public, it's a lot of ums and hms, and he goes back to. I don't know if you heard this, but there are quite a few blacks that really believe everything in America was created by black people.
Oh yeah.
He's one of those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no proof of it, just that it had to be because we were, of course, the first. But then you'll go back and also tell us that you were brought here from somewhere else.
Right.
So you two are a tether, just further back than me, which means you've perfected the tether art. I'm getting new at it, but somehow we're the bad guys because we're doing exactly what your people did.
Right.
Forced or not, you're still a tether. You're not from here.
Right.
Then they'll tell you, no, wait, we are because we were original Indians.
Yeah, that's it's really schizophrenic. The whole original Indians thing. I mean, it gets real schizophrenic.
Have you heard the original Chinese one?
Really?
Wait, what?
Oh yeah. No, you didn't hear this. Oh, I got to put you all on game. The original Asians were actually black people.
Oh my God.
Attila the Hun was not Asian. He was black.
So Genghis Khan was a brother?
Nope, he was black. He was a brother. Yeah, he was a brother.
The Vikings too.
Vikings too.
Vikings, yeah.
Vikings.
Didn't you know that? Yeah.
Wait a minute. So then when Caucasian folk decide to wear locks, it's fine, right?
Well, technically, there are no Caucasian folks because blacks were the beginning and end of all things. So technically, racism doesn't exist. What it really is one brand of black is better than the other at everything.
Yeah.
So isn't that black supremacy?
That's
No, yeah. The thing is you have to understand it's really sad to the core, though. This whole stealing of other people's history or pretending that like ancient historical figures were all black is really sad because if you think about it, they also try to claim Egypt, by the way. And with all due respect, I have to make sure people understand this. Africa is a large continent.
Yes.
Okay. Very, very, very large continent. For example, me trying to compare a Western Sub-Saharan African, let's say from Angola or Congo, to an Egyptian, ancient Egyptian, is like me trying to compare a Southern Asian to an East Asian. Like, what do Indians and East Asians really have in common? Really nothing. Okay, so they try to do this game. A lot of like fun, black supremacist people. They try to claim that ancient Egyptians were black, although there's no genetic evidence to suggest so. They try to claim that, ancient Arabia was black, although there's no evidence. Try to claim all of these ancient historical figures were black. And the reason why it's so sad is because they just can't go to their history, like the Ashanti Empire or the Mali Empire or the Kingdom of Dahomey. They can't go to their history and just start claiming their history because they don't believe it was good enough to claim. So they just try to steal other people's culture and other people's civilizations and claim that their people were supposedly black. It's really embarrassing, to be honest.
It's
sad,
funny.
actually.
It's hilarious
Yeah.
to me, especially at the same time. If it is your culture and you did start that, how did they change? One,
Yeah.
either you were not strong enough to hold on to it. Hey, I'm just saying. Okay, listen to me carefully, Black America. Since I'm not one, y'all said it, not me. I wanted to be black, but apparently I can't be, even though I look it. I didn't put me here.
Right.
You put me here. So let me get this right. White people came after black people, but yet still white people are stronger because they were able to usurp everything you have to make it theirs. Okay, I want to. That's first, right? Then you were also Asians, but Asians also decided to beat back their black and become more productive. And then you were Vikings. So even another version of white people did the exact same thing. So where was your kinghood, queenhood, dominance? Where was all of that when all that was happening?
And I've dealt with a lot of those people. I've dealt with the Black Hebrew Israelites. I know you guys are probably familiar with the Black Hebrew Israelites.
Oh yes,
Next level embarrassment. Next level embarrassment. I've dealt with a lot of them, and their kryptonite is asking them for evidence. I've had one guy that came up on my TikTok live saying that we were the original Indians, and I asked him, "Okay, what's your evidence of that?" And then he couldn't answer the question. It's embarrassing. Like the lack of education. They do this thing where they assume that they try to act and behave as if they're some sort of intellectuals. Do your research into the real history.
Just look it up.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, what sources are you pulling from? I really don't think these people have ever read anything. It's really embarrassing.
In their defense, Matt, they have indeed read something. It's called comic books. Now, comic books like Black Panther, and they believe that they came from Wakanda. I'm just saying. Again,
wasn't the original Black Panther white? Like the original?
No, because you're black. Racist. Oh. Stop it. No.
Marlon, no. You know how you fix all of that when you ask them and you go like, "Show me proof," or "Why isn't it like this anymore?" Slavery.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's all they got. Slavery. Oh, okay.
And to your point, Matt, they won't call out the Moors either.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
No, they won't call out the Moors. Isn't that that's like still today? They still black, right? Last time I checked. They're one of the oldest generations of black people, and they have not changed. They've not given up anything. And you know what they kept doing? Killing other black people. I think that's probably why they've never given up their colors, is because they were actually proud about what they were doing. That's probably why you don't want to own them. I can understand now. My apologies. I got you wrong. I can see why. But Tariq said, in the wake of HBCUs receiving threats, a group of suspected white supremacists went to HBCU Tennessee State under the guise of debating. But they were really there to racially antagonize the students. They ended up getting ran off the block.
The block?
Hey, the block.
It's a university campus.
Everything to these people is spinning blocks, okay? Blocks and Glocks. Okay. Here you go. And film yourself doing it.
Good gracious.
Okay.
Look at that.
This is HBCU, people. Next generation.
What is depressing is that for a university setting like this college right here, they don't want to dialogue or discuss ideas, which is what the grounds of a university is supposed to be, is a place to hash out ideas.
Next level.
Weird.
I mean, like, just behaving yourself like that. You have to understand there's a distinction between just racism and pattern recognition. My understanding, and this is my personal opinion, is that true racism is just, you're black, I don't like you because of that. That's true racism. That's true racism. That is isolated in a vacuum. That's just a race. When you have people that may be more alert if they walk through a black neighborhood or a neighborhood that's known for a lot of gang crime and gang violence, and they see a guy sagging his pants and wearing a tank top and they don't approach him, that's pattern recognition. That's being safe. That is understanding what you see and using that to be intelligent with the way that you move in life, right? And so when they behave like this, I mean, people are going to see that and they're going to be like, well, I don't want to go to a university campus that's an HBCU anymore, or trying to do any debates or have conversations there, because apparently they don't tolerate conversations and debates to people who disagree with them, and they just see them as these evil people. Now, again, if you actually were to have any of these people actually have a conversation with you and then, explain why you believe any of these people are racist. They can't do it. They're not really like those people who are screaming and hurling. Maybe the students who are probably, there's probably some students that are willing to have a conversation there, but the students who are doing that, writing BLM and shoving it in the front windshield or something, or the back windshield, that right there shows that they're not really smart. Smart people don't behave like that. Mm-hmm. Smart people can understand perspectives. They can understand nuance. Smart people don't want to immediately hurt you or be violent because you happen to disagree when they haven't even spoken to you. They've just set up a table,
Yeah, and what's funny about that type of behavior is they call that culture, and that culture is based off trauma that they didn't experience. So this is why they all act the same, because they consider that Black culture, and it's not Black culture. That's trauma disguised as culture.
Right.
Now, go ahead.
Question. So, Matt, on your experience with Jubilee, because we kind of sort of did a wide swath, kind of sort of like a wide swath paintbrush on Black America in terms of how they're portraying themselves as part of as the community. So, in your experience with Jubilee, and you're staring at the strong and independent Black woman's face of that particular side of the conversation. What was your takeaway from your experience with Amanda Seales?
Yeah, my takeaway was that she was a radical leftist, and she called herself radical, and that she behaved like a radical after calling herself radical. I believe that she would have been maybe more respectful, more opening to different opinions, but this woman was freaking out and crashing out with everyone there. She can't believe that people have opposing views. Mm-hmm. My takeaway is that Black radicals have lost it. That the entirety of the BLM movement have lost it. Their behavior is abhorrent, reprehensible, and something that every Black American who truly cares about the problem should run away from. Amanda Seales came out and said that Black on Black violence is not even a thing. That's what she said. She verbatim. She doesn't even believe it's a thing. Although she's willing to burn down Minneapolis because a Black man was unalived by a white man. So that's kind of their behavior. I mean, my takeaway is that she has this radical opinion of extremism on their left side, and she behaves like that. And a lot of these people, they really don't want to have a conversation. They just want to, hurl insults and cause violence.
Do you think then there's any hope for dialogue with the mindset that you encountered? Like, mm-hmm. You said you wanted to have a conversation with Tariq Nasheed, and all jokes aside about Tariq Nasheed. What do you think would be your hope for an outcome when speaking to someone like Tariq Nasheed? Do you foresee a mutual ground being had, or a convincing, or what exactly do you think would be yielding from a conversation with someone like that?
Someone like something like a mutual ground. I mean, I'll match the energy that he has. I don't think he'll come with like respectful energy like we're talking right now and having a conversation and expressing our opinions and views. But the hope would be for us to both understand our perspectives. I think I understand where they're coming from to a certain extent, although I don't agree with it. And what I would want is for them to understand a different perspective and at least understand it. Not just like, you're wrong, I'm going to freak out, I'm going to scream at you, but at least understand that perspective and be like, okay, that's the opinion you hold. I don't necessarily agree, but I can at least understand that perspective. People like Tariq Nasheed and Amanda Seales, they have not gotten to the I understand that perspective point. I've spoken to many Black people who, they've reached that, okay, I understand this different perspective. They are not willing to tolerate a different perspective. They see their position as axiomatically correct. It can't be proven false. It's the default position. And if you disagree, then your position is intolerable, and that's not, open to discussion. So that's what I would want. I would want them to be open to understanding a different perspective and actually grasping a different perspective instead of just freaking out and not trying to understand the opposition's arguments and nuances.
Yeah, and I see that there's no money in understanding. So if they came to a common ground and tried to understand, there's no money in that. They make a lot of money with this chaos that they support on the side that they're on. So if they came to an understanding with you, can you imagine what that would do to their reputation? So they'll never do it. Even though probably deep down, man, way deep down inside of them, they're probably like, you know what? That makes sense. But they will never say it.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
Well, it's because of profit. I mean, he just gave the answer. A BLM movement, poured in a lot of money. They used some of the funds actually to buy a mansion that was never really used. And they gave the excuse that the mansion was bought for purposes that was going to be used, for BLM or some movements or whatever. But they were having parties there. There was a woman there that was, doing cooking videos at the house that they bought and purchased. All sorts of different things. Mothers of BLM victims came out and said that they weren't receiving any of the funds or any of the monies or any of the support from the organizations that were pouring in over $100 million. So the incentive has always been money. And the incentive has been capitalizing off of race relations. That's been the thing. Like they try to demonize white people specifically when it comes to scenarios. And people are just like, well, it's only when it comes to police, which is not true. We saw that Daniel Penny, when he took out Jordan Neely was causing violence on the subway train. BLM came out for that, and then BLM New York came out and they were threatening white people. They were like, "Well, we need these black vigilantes to go out and get them folks and stuff like that, and whatnot." And the father that was never in his life because the guy was homeless for I don't know how many years, over a decade or so, came out trying to demand and sue for money. Where were you when your child was homeless? On drugs on a subway train? Their whole goal is to capitalize off of the demonization of police officers and white people, and they want to make money from it. And that's the real issue, because if you want to bring a BLM sign anywhere, it's not a white community, it's not where white people are. It should be all black. It should be all of these areas that are having a crazy amount of crime, because black men need to know that Black Lives Matter, not white people, right?
But it's interesting you say that, because BLM didn't come out for that recent Mississippi guy who committed suicide.
Right. They are yet to come out. What's actually funny is they're trying to say that, some white guy lynched him. They have this conspiracy theory, and they're like, oh, this doesn't look real. This can't be the case. Black people don't hang themselves, and this has to be some sort of a lynching.
Right.
But BLM didn't come out when King Von was killed either. BLM capitalizes off of demonization of white people and the capitalization of the fact that black people are these so-called victims, and that white people don't understand that their lives matter and that they're oppressed, and they capitalize off of that. And a lot of the people who support BLM, it may be the far white leftist people, and maybe Democrat white liberals, and black people in general, a lot of black people. They take for example, we saw Rodney King, we saw Minneapolis, and how that kind of turned out. They take the opportunity for chaos and anger to then truly espouse their barbarism by looting small businesses. I mean, you guys remember when the Korean small business owners during Rodney King had to have guns and their pistols and rifles on top of their shops? Why? Because they had to literally defend their businesses from rioters, people that were using it to espouse and express their barbarism. Because I mean, listen, if a cop killed you, go ahead, sue the department, get that figured out through court. Why are you burning random people's cars, destroying vandalizing vehicles, vandalizing property, breaking in and stealing stuff? It's just, you're espousing your barbarism. Charlie Kirk just died. How many riots did we have for him? We had peaceful vigils. Actually, the only protests that we've seen are the counter protests to his vigils, right? So, yeah, it's insane.
You missed one life that was also used by BLM, and it's not just demonizing white people; they're also demonizing black lives. Yeah. And this is the crux of BLM. They are fine with sacrificing young black men to the cause. They got no problem. Okay, hear me out. Freddie Gray, right? Michael Brown. You have people in a certain environment. Now, instead of BLM going after the root cause, say like you have a cut and the cut's bleeding, they're more than happy to wipe up the blood off the floor, but allow the cut to still hemorrhage. They have no problem with the cut, because the hemorrhage creates the need for them to be around to sap up the blood. Now, if you went after the blood and start to stitch up the wound, I mean, you ain't gonna have no blood to sap up, and nobody gonna come thanking you for sapping up the blood. So you got to sacrifice parts of you, even if it gets an infection. I don't give a damn if it gets an infection. That cut's making me some money and getting me attention. So now they have the whole T-shirt movement, the Say His Name movement, right? Yeah. So they also sacrifice black men for the cause of black men dying at the expense of white people and cops. Now, if you really did care, to Matt's point, about black people being harmed in any way, shape, form, or fashion, then maybe tackle the 700 homicides that happened in Chicago. Maybe tackle the 650 that happened in Baltimore. Maybe tackle the other 600 that happened in Oakland. Maybe tackle the ones that happened in St. Louis. I don't know. Maybe to the tune of almost 3,000 lives are lost every year throughout all these cities that are predominantly black, that have nothing to do with white people. If you care about the numbers dwindling and your lives being lost, maybe address that little cut on the arm so that you don't have to keep sapping up blood. But we understand that the blood makes a nice design for your t-shirt. We understand that you love doing the tie-dye with the blood of black men in America, BLM, and those who think like BLM, you and the Tariq Nasheeds of the world. We understand that you have no problem killing young black men at the expense of your dollar, right? You love that. You have no problem seeing niggas die. You love that. Let's be honest, Tariq Nasheed. Let's be honest, Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, Jameel Hill. Let's be honest with all your hoteps out there. You're pro-blackity, black all day long. All right, your queens and your kings. Let's be honest. You love seeing black men specifically die. You probably put it on loop in your wet dreams. That's probably what you do, because you know why? It keeps your rage fueled. It keeps you angry, and it makes you feel like you're superior to everybody else by watching young black men end their lives through violence and stupidity. You don't correct them. You like watching black men put forks into sockets and shock the shit out of themselves. You have no problem doing that, because you know why? You can come back and say, that racist outlet, look at what it did to an innocent young black man. It shocked the shit out of him for no reason. All he did was put his fork in there.
Right.
Then you call another one over, hey, put your fork in this real quick. I'm not going to cover up the outlet, nor am I going to tell you not to do it. There's an outlet over here talking crap about your brother. This got shocked. Get him. Look, another brother got ended by another racist light socket.
Right.
This is what they do. They are hustlers to the death of black America.
That's
You
true.
know, Margaret Sanger and people like that don't have any work to do. Why? Because they got people like this guy to do their work for them. They got Tariq Nasheed. This is one of his videos here. Okay, this is a undercover tether. Okay, up the whole the FBA thing. They have no problems with black people dying. They don't. They really don't. They like the vigil, and it gives them a reason to riot, especially the undesirables in society. Secondarily, they get to blame somebody else for it. Now, I guess in this conversation, someone came up to have a conversation with Tariq and called him out something to his face, apparently. Okay.
Sensationalize that. Let me get Rob.
This guy is disingenuous, brother. I was in the space the other night. He said, I'm not like Tariq Nasheed and them FBA in words. And he was disparaging your name back and forth. He said he didn't support reparations and all this crap. I mean, he was with some card-carrying white supremacists. I didn't even get a chance to speak on stage. So it's really making my colon power and my blood boil. But you doing your investigative journalism, you're kind of getting to the nitty gritty and getting this guy to expose himself. Yeah, man, you went in the space where I forgot the guy's name.
Bro, I don't know you. You don't know why I'm never in space.
Bro, I was there. Bro, you were on that stage with those white.
These niggas are unhinged. Absolutely, these niggas are unhinged. Okay, I hear you. I know.
Hey guys.
Now, did you hear the word he just used? Right.
Mm-hmm.
He said it right.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, there's a right way to use the N-word and a wrong way. I didn't know that. I thought the N-word was wrong all around, but hold on.
Has ever heard about the human race? You know, as far as have you guys ever met that?
Slow down, Megan. I'm gonna get you in a minute. Slow down. It's black folks talking. Slow down. Don't start that shit now.
See?
Wow.
If white people want to talk, no, shut up. By the way, he called a white person the N-word too. So apparently, white people are that too. I'm lost as to how the word has any meaning anymore. I don't even know what it means no more.
That's not even the most important part about that. He literally just said, "Shut up, bigot."
Black people are talking.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if it was the other way around.
Wow.
Imagine if it was the other way around.
Come on, white people are talking.
Right.
Listen, boy. The white folk is talking. Shut your little monkey behind up, boy.
Marlon, be careful. You're saying monkey on a podcast.
Monkey. Chimp. Say it all. But you know what? It is a grift, Martin. Like you said, like people like Tariq Nasheed, Al Sharpton, you know, all these pro-black hoteps. They make a lot of money off of this. I mean, remember when World Stars of Hip Hop, whatever that stuff was
World
called?
Star Hip Hop, yeah.
Yeah, they always show black people making are full of themselves, fighting, doing all this other crazy stuff, and it was promoted, and the black community promoted it. Then they wonder why when black people go out in the streets, what do you think people see them as? Oh, that's world star hip hop or hip hop. That's how I see black people. Or music. They project black people as being these thugs, these gangsters, these alcoholics, drug dealers. So when these young black people go out in the streets, people view them as just that. And these people haven't even come out once and talked about this stuff.
Right.
They won't.
And let's be honest with ourselves. Stereotypes don't come out of nowhere.
Nothing.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's what we have to be honest with ourselves. Like I'm pretty sure, one of your, panelists and people here is an Asian. A lot of I'm sure you guys have made jokes as well about the rice, not just rice, but the whole math, Asian people are at the East Asian, stuff like that.
Asian drivers.
Now, I wonder, it does the whole East Asians are really good at math. Does that come out of nowhere? No, people didn't just start saying that out of nowhere. People saw that, East Asians have really good SAT scores. They do really good in math and stuff like that. We've seen the so-called American math team. It's full of, Asian Americans. And so that doesn't come out of nowhere. You can make good stereotypes of success if you behave and express yourself in a successful manner, in a important manner. Mm-hmm. So that's all you have to do. You have to behave better. You have to act better. You have to do better, and people will perceive you as better. No one makes stereotypes out of, like, you don't see memes on X about how East Asians are committing crime. You'll see memes on X about how smart they are and how good at math they are and stuff like that. But you'll never see the memes about them committing crime or 1350 on them. Why? Because they don't behave that way in society. Right. So if you don't want to see black people portrayed a certain way in society, then black people within society need to change the way they behave. And that's all there is to it.
The problem is when you do act right, you're white.
Exactly. And
like
that's
like you and I, we are whitewashed, right?
Right.
Okay, cool.
And that's a bad thing. And by the way, they also they not only call me white, they say I'm not black. Obviously, they say you're not black either. We're both not black. We're white. And I remember this one guy. He was mad. He was a very angry FBA, and he came up and he said that I was not American and that he's a foundational black American and his roots and this and that. And then he said that I don't even talk like I'm a black person. I talk white. And I was like, okay, so there's a white way to speak. And by the way, this guy has 10 words in his vocabulary. So if I'm talking like I'm white, I'm doing a favor for myself. I'm doing something good because I have more than 10 words in my vocabulary. He doesn't. So when he comes up and says that, I'm talking white, he's actually complimenting.
Yeah.
Right.
The majority of the time they say you're talking white, you're talking more eloquently than they are. You're talking more intelligent. You're more articulate than they are. And that's talking white. And what's the truth is, that's looked down in the black community a lot of the time. You see somebody that's trying to be intelligent. You see somebody who's not trying to be a part of any set or any sectarian clash or any sort of gang, and you see them trying to get an education, and that is looked down upon in the black community a lot of times.
Four of his words were the N-word, and the other four were the F-bomb.
Exactly. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, right? When we have people, like Little Dirk, Chief Keef, King Von, all of those people, hundreds of millions of views. Black kids look up to those people. And what does King Von and Chief Keef pride himself in? Murder. Oh, I ain't no snitch. I'm a gangster. I'm a real one. And they call themselves savages. They do. Am I lying? Or a lot of the times in hip hop, they called it. And listen, in no intelligent society do the people themselves ever call themselves savages. That's not something you pride yourself in. That's an insult. You being called a savage is you being uncivilized, you being inconsiderate, and you being, not calculated. Yeah. So the fact that we have, people calling themselves savages and priding themselves in savagery is a major league loss, right there.
Yep. Yeah, and the thing, with King Von and all them guys, then you had this rise of these YNs. And if you look at these YNs running around the street,
right,
they emulate exactly what King Von,
right,
and them are doing,
right.
And then they wonder why everyone looks at us like we're savages. We're animals.
I'm about that life, though. Yep. I'm about that life. That's good. That's the thing. It's like
you tell wild hyenas,
people, right? You tell these people, don't wear a ski mask, don't sag your pants, don't wear super tight jeans. Just relax yourself. Present yourself in a more presentable manner. And they're like, I ain't care. I'm about that life. I'm for the streets. I'm a real one. And it's like, that is not something you pride yourself in.
Yeah.
And then those same people are going to tell white people that they're the reasons why they're in the positions that they are, and they're going to blame white people for all the problems, and it's oppression, and it's perpetual victimhood forever. And listen, it's a tiring life. I have perpetual victim fatigue. This is the issue. Anybody, whether they're white, black, or whatever, Hispanic, and if they want to live as a perpetual victim, I'm exhausted from it. I don't want to live my life calling myself a victim. I don't want to live my life, being a victim forever. Move on. Things happen. Everyone has went through something. There was the Armenian genocide. There was the Holocaust in reference to the Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Rwandan genocide. Everyone has gone through something. Everybody has been enslaved before. White, Arab, Hispanic, black. Everyone has. You have to move on. You have to do better. You have to uplift your families. You can't cry and complain and be a perpetual victim forever. Everyone's went through something. You don't get stuck forever.
I beg to differ. Blacks are doing it right now and proving you wrong. They can indeed do it for forever. Okay, they've been doing it for 400 plus years. They keep bragging about it. It's been 400 years. Actually, technically, it's only been about 180. But I digress. Math doesn't matter. Yeah. Let's just say we gave you 400. Let's just say that's true. That we gave you 400. Wouldn't you think by now that particular bloodline of abuse would have dwindled away?
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought. Anyway, let him see if he brought the white man back in.
Slow down. Now,
I do apologize. My apologies.
Thomas.
Do black folks look the same? Like, what's going on here? Go ahead, Tariq.
Now, Thomas, were you talking?
No, I never said
Thomas, were you talking greasy, Thomas?
No, I don't even know why. I'm actually surprised that this is actually happening in reality. That some guy comes off the mic, acts like he knows me, and he's seen me in spaces. And I literally just said that I'm on Clubhouse.
This was his voice. He was the guy had his name. It was the something. And you know what's funny? Remember that?
Wait. Slow down. The what?
Hold up, man. Hold up. The Arabic dude that came in here, the Armenian dude. Remember the Armenian dude, Tariq, that came here a couple of days ago?
Yeah.
That guy was the co-host.
Oh.
And they were in there talking.
I was the co-host. I got that kind of clout.
No, you weren't the co-host. No, you weren't the co-host.
About?
You were being a professional white dick sucker, nigga. That's what you are. But I'm gonna be respectful. But I'm gonna be respectful to Tariq's face.
And this is how they speak to each other.
Right.
Now, I wanted to play that particular part just so you can get to there. That is considered camaraderie and good interactionary debate skills. Now, I want you to really analyze something for me. If I'm supposed to be having a discussion with you, do you think it behooves me to have an intellectual approach to you if that is how you address me every 5 seconds with the N-word? Nope. Because I might be black and you disagree with it. If I'm white and you're having a conversation and you tell me to shut up, black people are talking, why in the world would I want to have a conversation with you? And I want to remind black Americans about something real quick, and even somebody may not remind you about it. You need white people.
Right.
FYI, your vote might be cool. Yeah, but you don't pass no laws. Isn't that what you say? But at every turn, you out there sucking exactly what you say you were sucking on screen. Every black white person to get the vote passed for something you want.
Right.
At every turn, you depend on some white person to get what you want. You can't do it yourself, you say, right? But when we, black people, like us, tell you can do it on your own, we coons, we sellouts, all that, right?
Right.
But you, who literally depend on a white man to get everything done, you ain't a sellout. You are the definition of a coon. You are the definition of the sellout. You are the definition of the hard ER. What are you talking about? You always looking to white people to pass some law for you, give you some holiday, give you a vacation. Everything you want is from white people. And at the same time, you dog them. And then when the same white people you say you want something from tell you no, you get mad.
And by the way, just to clarify, because people make this like they don't understand the distinction. Slavery in America really only lasted for 89 years. Slavery in America, the United States of America. We're talking about the modern country of America. We're not talking about under the British Empire or the colonies. Exactly. 1776 to 1865. It's about 89 years, okay, of slavery. So that's the real picture of how things have worked. And we have to understand that there were obviously black slave owners themselves. One of the first actual slave owners, because originally people came here not necessarily, they didn't have the status as slaves, but they were rather indentured servants. Was Anthony Johnson, I believe. Anthony Johnson, he came from Angola, and he arrived here in the, I think, 1600s or so. And one of his indentured servants ran away, and their punishment for that was to be an indentured servant for life. And he was basically made the first actual slave. And so the black person owned the actual first slave here in the United States, because the racial segregationist laws and all those sorts of things didn't really exist back then. They didn't really have that aspect of understanding things. But yeah, just another fun fact.
It is crazy, because it's the same system you say that's so against you gave you, like you said, you have to get it. You didn't try and do like Haiti. I realized that. Yeah. There were plenty of you, by the way. In case people forgot, there were about 2.5 to almost 3 million slaves throughout the United States. Okay, that became free, and y'all never tried to rebel. Y'all never amistaded nothing, but you waited till you got something called a black leader to say it. But what he really did was lead you into more slavery by hitching your wagon to the LGBTQ and calling your whole history queer. You love that, right? That's no problem there. You still vote for the party that says you're gonna have niggas voting for the next 200 years. You're fine with that, okay? Because that's the party that loves you. You're fine with every time they tell you that you can't do it, you can't make it, and you don't know how to operate a computer. You're fine with that. But somehow a white dude comes up and says you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. He's a racist.
Yep.
Right.
A white man telling you that, all of a sudden he's the most despicable, hateful person on earth. You got black women out there dogging black men at every turn, cussing them out, calling them all kind of weak, and go straight to feminizing them, or right off the rip. Somebody stands up to them. All of a sudden he's the bigot. Don't talk to our queens like that. When the queen's talking to you like you a dog. What did that make you? That makes you a eunuch, is what it really makes you, but not even the kind of eunuch for a rich person. It makes you a eunuch for a broke house. Okay, so you're living on a whole system that you say is so bad, turning to the people that you say are the devil to try and give you something from heaven. How in the hell is that going to work for you?
And to be honest, there at least were some FBAs that actually did go back to Africa. We had Liberia. The Liberian flag, I don't know if you guys know about the history of Liberia. The Liberian flag looks basically like the American flag with one star. And it was because in the early 1800s, there were a foundation of Black Americans that went to the American Colonization Society and said, we want to go back to Africa. They did go back. They established their own state. It's not doing so well, right? It's not doing so well. So to a certain extent, you have to be grateful. I mean, I'm grateful to be in this country. My mother, told me to be grateful to be in this country. This whole idea of being a perpetual victim and blaming is just not the way. There's plenty of African states that exist today. They're not doing so well. They're not governed so well. Every metric of living conditions is worse. Every metric of financial condition is worse. So to an extent, you have to be grateful in the society that you live in and understand who conceptualized this society and the Constitution, all these different things. So if instead of being a perpetual victim and crying, I think to a certain extent there should be some gratefulness. You should have some. You should be grateful, if anything.
Well, yeah. Again.
Well, and with all the complaining, I always ask this question: you complain, so what's the solution?
Yeah.
What is your solution if we have this institutionalized racism, whatever? What is your fix to that?
Right.
You want to just get rid of all white people? What do you want? Only black only states? Tell us what you want.
They tried black only dormitories. They tried that in the University of Western Washington, but yeah.
But it's interesting though, because there have been thriving black communities even during the height of Jim Crow and segregation, and those communities thrived. So if the black community decides by themselves to do that once again, something needs to happen or change philosophically and even culturally in order for that to happen.
Just one thing. Only one thing. And Charlie said it over and over. Bring Pops back. If you just bring Pops back, you won't have this problem. The reason that they had 8 Black Wall Streets and you only hear about one, maybe 2 of them, you hear about Tulsa all the time. I don't remember Black Wall Street. Brother, there were like 7 more. And all of them continued to thrive after Tulsa got burned down, for crying out loud. Why do you think they still have rich black people now? You think it's all ghetto? It ain't all ghetto. But the
Right.
ones that are rich are not black. You know why? They're not considered black. Why? They didn't grow up in the ghetto. You don't understand the struggle. No, they understand the struggle more than you because they actually grew up in a time where it was a struggle and they went into that struggle and conquered. You out here in less of a struggle and can't conquer nothing.
That's right.
They fought whole lions. You out here battling a chihuahua and can't win.
Speaking of bringing cops back, what's another statistic that really gets to me is 71% of black fathers had a child from a non-marital, situation. So 71% of black fathers have non-marital births. So their child, they had a child with a woman. 71% of them, they didn't marry that woman before having a child. It's only 37% for white men. So commitment to marriage is an important factor.
Yep.
Less promiscuity is an important factor because you have this one guy, in a community where he has like multiple different baby mamas, the child custody battle, all these sorts of different issues. He's going in and out of jail. He's not holding a job. Stuff like this. I mean, it's also women also have to pick more intelligent men who actually are willing to commit, not just jumping straight into having intercourse and not committing to anything and being more intelligent. There's so many things within the black community.
But again, that stems back from bringing Pops back because Pops is the one that helps the daughter vet the man properly.
Yeah,
exactly. So,
yeah,
exactly.
And that's why they hated him.
True.
That's why they hated him because they know full well what the stereotype is. They know what the stereotype is, and you don't want to point the finger at who's really to blame for it. I keep hearing they put drugs in the community. You sold them.
Nobody told
They
picked it up and sold them.
Yeah, they made us have to do this. No, you did it on your own. You every day you wake up, you have the choice to sell drugs to your brother, not a tether, your brother, and you still sell him drugs. You have the right every day you get up to not pull a weapon on your brother, not a tether. You still do it. You have the right every day you get up to decide not to clown on your queen. You still do it. She's not a tether. So you can blame every other entity you want. You can blame whites. You can blame immigrants. Do all that. But here's the simple fact of the matter, Black America. You are still to blame for your own decision making and your own demise because you are the one perpetuating the damage on your own people. If you really cared about Black people, you wouldn't have gangs.
You tell the truth if you care.
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's so everyone wants to hear that it's not your problem; it's someone else's problem.
Yeah.
It's the thing is like, for example, if you come and you're mentoring somebody or whatever, or you're speaking to a family member about what's going on with that person, and they're telling you about what issues they currently have, they probably it's easier probably for them to hear that this other person or this institution is causing the problem. It's harder to say, you know what, you need to change things within yourself and fix your issues. That's less comfortable. Oh, you're saying there's not someone else I can just put the blame on. I have to actually do things internally within myself. That's more uncomfortable. That's more scary than it's someone else's problem. And if they fix their problem, your living conditions just get better. And so that's the thing. I want to tell Black people the truth. I want to tell them that you're unaliving each other at a disproportionate rate. And that's the core problem with Black lives, is it's being taken by Black men. And they're like, well, it's the same thing with every other racial group. It's like 90% of every other racial group is unalived by that group. That's fine. But white people didn't start the White Lives Matter movement. White Lives Matter was never really a movement, but it was only used to counter, protest the Black Lives Matter movement. When white men are killing each other at the rate that they kill each other at, which is, by the way, a lot lower, they don't cry. They don't say White Lives Matter and, people don't value our lives. They don't say that. When Black people are killing each other at a disproportionate rate and they're starting riots and burning cities over that sort of stuff, right? They don't do the same thing for when their own fellow brothers kill them. That's where the problem actually stems from, right? That's where the core of the root is, that if you're killing each other at a disproportionate rate and don't cry, then there is no problem. But if you're doing it, and by the way, over like thousands of Black men are killed every year because of gang violence or gun violence in general. How many are killed by police that are supposedly unarmed? Like 15, according to the Washington Post.
Yep.
But we only talk about the 15 because, again, we can't talk about the majority of cases because we're victims. We're victims to whites, not victims to ourselves. Don't forget that. We're victims to whites. But typically, when you hear that a brother in the community got beat up, he got beat up by another, brother. If you ask these Black mothers who have lost their child due to gun violence and gang violence, Ask them, was the perpetrator black? If you even found him, the perpetrator is most likely black.
Yeah.
So tell these black men that Black Lives Matter. That's all I'm saying. Tell these black men need to know that Black Lives Matter. Black men need to know that black lives are not worth assaulting. Black men need to know that black women are not worth beating and having domestic violence over. That's what they need to know it, not white people. White people don't behave in those sorts of ways. And then the whole crying about over policing, which by the way is not a thing.
No,
I'm going to just say that right now. My neighborhood is not policed much. We don't have gun violence. I never really heard a gunshot in my community at all. The reason why police set up gang units is because certain neighborhoods have so much sectarian gang clashes that the police need to patrol and have certain units for that certain place itself. And the thing is the hardest homicides to solve are gang homicides, because the ones that happen domestically, you kill a family member, all of that is easy. But when we're dealing with gang violence, this guy was just from another block and he killed this other man. If the police are not directly there, it's so much harder to solve that sort of those sorts of homicides, and they're going to be more present there. And listen, no law-abiding citizen is afraid of police in their neighborhood.
Thank you.
If police is outside my house right now, I'm just going to feel safer. Well, if somebody tries to attack me or if someone's trying to shoot up, police is right there. They're gonna handle it. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'll come out. I'll greet police. What is there to be scared of? I don't care if there's 10 police cars outside my house. I'm more protected now.
Lights, man.
I don't have anything to be scared of. I'm not a criminal.
Have you not seen those lights? They're blue and red. They flashy a lot, and they really hurt your eyes if you look too hard at them.
Especially that white light. But I would say to the black community, start snitching. Get rid of that no snitch culture. You need to start snitching. And one way to keep that could probably help with some of this violence and robbery and tomfoolery that goes on in these neighborhoods is snitch.
Absolutely.
Once you start snitching, people are going to think twice before they commit a crime. Not everybody, but a lot of people will. Just snitch.
And what's a bigger deterrent to crime? Am I more likely to sell drugs if I see a police car, or am I less likely? Less likely. Am I more likely to try to shoot up another brother in the community if I see a police car, or am I less likely? I'm less likely because I don't know. No one's smart. No one's dumb enough. Well, I can't say no one, but some people are. But no one's really dumb enough to do a crime in front of the police.
Yep.
They're disincentivized to do so. The whole crying about over policing is absolutely silly. Just stop it. You
forget Tariq Nasheed exists. He would. To answer AJ's question, because unlike y'all here, we catch the fish fresh. And when you catch it fresh and not have it in a store, you don't have to remove the head. You can cook the whole thing. That's not that we don't clean it. We still clean it, but we leave the head.
Do y'all eat the head?
Eat the head, of course.
Oh,
fish eye? What? Especially fried? Yes, you eat the whole. Nothing is going to waste. Eat the fish. Eat that fish, of course. I ain't gonna lie. But in honor of our guest, and of course myself, and it just so happens that the tethers are one in line here. Okay, the tethers are in line, and the two American whatever they are over there. Anybody cares? They're probably aligned with racism anyway. So who do I care with them?
What adjacent supremacy here?
That's right. Yeah. I wrote a song.
Clayton Bigley.
I wrote a song just for those who might be marginalized like us tethers. And I grew a beard. I grew a beard just for the song. Okay. And I will play the song in honor of Matt. And where exactly is your family from, Matt? What
Angola.
Country? Angola.
Yeah.
I will play this in honor of Matt and I and our recent transition from just being black to not being black enough. This is for us. Great song.
They call a tether, but not a brother. There's one thing, but not the other. We all know I am not black. Anything I say is an attack. Because I am not the right kind of black. I am not the right kind of black.
It's a great song.
It's a fantastic song.
Number one.
I'm not the right kind of black.
That's amazing. That is absolutely.
I hope
Oh,
y'all love my song. It premieres on Suno. I published it.
You
So if you
did?
guys want to have it as a ringtone, please feel to download it from Straight Talk. Um, it's an homage to people who think a certain way about me, because it's not an insult for you to call me a tether. In fact, what it does help me understand is that there is something at least still here to tether to. Now, if you don't want to tether to it and you think it's not tetherable, then that's on you. But I can probably speak on behalf of Matt when I say this, and he can speak for himself. He's a very intelligent young man. Whether or not you think, Black Americans, that we come here to use your hard work to make it, how about you make me look stupid by doing it yourself? Oh,
Right.
sorry, my bad. What I mean is, if you think I come here to make a better life, and I do make a better life, but I'm using your struggle and making it better, so admitting that I'm better, then maybe you should follow my lead and use the groundwork you did to make the same headway.
Right.
Instead of arguing that I'm using your hard work. To me, that just makes more sense. But hey, I'm not right kind of black, so I can't tell you nothing anyway. So would I be right in that assumption there, Matt? Would I?
I think you would be. I think you'd be right in that assumption.
Okay.
It's a fair assessment.
I mean, if I see something working, why wouldn't I use it?
Right. And, I know for a fact I'm going to go on to be very successful. And when I do, I know that I'm not going to have to, beg for reparations. And when I do it, it's going to be this, it's, you didn't go through what the majority of Black people went through. We all were impoverished. Well, then get yourself out of poverty. Work your way out of poverty. Don't pump out a bunch of kids and ask for EBT. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one thing that kind of angers me, and this is not even just with Black. This was every single group. When I'm looking at people, even in Africa itself, it's like, if you're so impoverished, stop having so many kids. Work on, take that time you take to make
Pump
children and get an education and make money. Because what are we doing pumping out kids when we can't afford, to live ourselves? You're going to end up like an EBT queen. You're going to end up like a welfare queen. So just stop pumping out so many children if you don't have money, and work on getting money, go into a better neighborhood, get off of Section 8, and let's build a family somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Or-
move out of that neighborhood. Yeah.
Right.
Or just get a vasectomy and then get a reversal when you're ready to have kids when you made it.
Exactly. There you go.
And take advice from people who were in your situation, like Ben Carson.
Yeah.
Ben Carson was on Section 8 all of his life as a child. And what
Yes.
did he do? No longer is on Section 8. Why? Because he decided that, well, look, no more of this nonsense. I'm out. But when people try to tell you they're a sellout, they're coons, they're this, they're the other. And if that's the case, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm cool with all the terminologies. Tether, coon, sellout, Sambo, bootlicker, uncle, anything you want to throw.
Uncle Ruckus,
I'm good with
Uncle
that.
Tom, Uncle Ruckus.
Okay,
And the
all
thing
good.
is, not to mention, in reference to the Ben Carson story, he had two cousins who were unalived in gang violence, Ben Carson. And he also gave the story of how his mother gave him a library card and he started reading. And what happened? He became a renowned surgeon. He received the Presidential Medal of Freedom at the White House. He separated conjoined twins at the back of the head. Okay? So you can make it. You can move on apart from crying. And this person, Ben Carson, who's supposedly this Uncle Ruckus and self-hating Black man, he just spoke at Charlie Kirk's memorial. He's been very successful, and he's never had to beg for reparations a day in his life. White people were not so racist towards him and so evil towards him that he couldn't make it. He could make it. He could be honored, right? And so many Black men can. They just have to not be victims, and they have to be intelligent, and they have to focus on the right sort of things. If you do, you can make it, okay? And yeah, it doesn't matter. I rather be correct than accepted, even when it comes to the majority of Black Americans. I know there's plenty of Black Americans who 100% agree with me. They see where I'm coming from. But but a lot of them, or maybe even the majority of them, don't accept me. And they say I'm white, and they don't accept where I'm coming from. And to me, I'm okay with not being popular within any community for what I say. If it's the truth, I'll stand on it. I rather stand on the truth than, compensate the truth for satisfaction of people. I don't want to compensate the truth to satisfy people and satisfy their delusions, because I think satisfying their delusions is harmful. That's the thing. That's what I truly see it. I think
agree.
if we truly continue the BLM movement and white people are evil and they need to have white guilt and this and that, it's harmful. It's harmful because like race relations are not getting better. It's going to just continue getting worse if this happens. So I think it's harmful if I don't continue spreading the truth. I might get hate for, but it's harmful if I don't.
Take it. You know, I always say to these young black men out here, if you start making it and you make it, you don't owe your neighborhood anything.
Nope.
Get up out that neighborhood and move on. Move to the suburbs, or they have apple pie sitting on the window sills and they're walking the little poodles and stuff. That's the life I like to live.
Right.
I don't owe where I came from anything. Don't let them gaslight you into thinking you made it. Now you owe the neighborhood. You don't owe them nothing.
Yeah.
Take your money and run.
Leave.
Get up out of there. Leave.
It's a good song too. Go and take the money and run. But anyway, thank you, Matt, for joining us.
Yes.
I really appreciate. We need more voices, especially of the young generation, that are logical thinkers, not line tours, because you live the example that you're speaking of, and you're also seeing that there is opportunity to be had, and you're taking it.
Right.
And I think the more people see it, the more people will be inclined. I hope more people will be inclined to follow suit. But even if they're not, I want people. It doesn't affect us doing it. That's on you. We're just showing you the example. And if you don't want the example, that's fine. It's completely fine. But we're also going to ignore your complaints when it doesn't work out the way you think life is going to work out. And some of us, like myself, not Matt, me, I'm going to laugh at you. I'm going to laugh, and I'm going to point fingers, and I'm going to make caricatures of you. I'm going to do all of that. Clown you. I will do that. Matt is more mature for his age. I am now on the downside, going back to my childhood. Matt is ascending. I am older now, and I'm going right back to being childish, and I have no problem doing it. I will do nana boo boo at you and all kinds of stuff. I have no problem doing it. See, Matt will do this. Listen here, sir, and he'll talk to you very calmly and very, very directly.
But one thing about Matt's generation and people like him is that they are the future of this country, obviously.
Yes.
The boomers and the Gen Xers, we're still stuck in, and some of us are still stuck in the victim mentality. You'll see that a lot of in that mentality from the boomers and the Gen Xers who are pushing it down to some of these smooth brain millennials. It's the Gen Zers who are seeing it differently. There's a few loud ones out there still, but there's Gen Zers like this that are seeing it, and they're going to be the ones to make the change a few generations from now when they're our age. He's going to be 40-something. And you're going to see this big shift in the black community from people like him. So, very influential.
I agree. Yeah, thank you guys for having me. This has been fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And we're always available if you ever want to jump back on and you see a topic. Just send me an inbox. Hey, I want in on that. No problem. We always look forward to guests.
I'll be back.
Especially guests who can speak. That's pivotal.
Not one of these. They just...
I do one day want to have a much bigger panel where we can have about 10 people on the screen, and so we can have a big discussion about something politically deep. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If I do reach out to you, it might be I'll give you a few weeks in advance. I'll give you some time. So, but anyway, if you haven't checked out Too Strong, we dropped a couple of videos, including one that y'all might dislike about something I disagreed with Charlie on. Like it's a legit disagreement. It's not like even a racist disagreement. It's just a legit disagreement. Check that out. And if you missed the live this morning on Straight Talk, go check that out too, because I did a breakdown. I'll be doing a part 2 to it of the Catholicism and Zionism and who's worse. Okay, so go check that out. I'll be doing a part 2 of that on Friday. Matt, you have a YouTube channel?
I do. It's Matt Nuclear.
Let me find it, and I'll drop the link in here for these people so they can find it. And it's just one T, right?
Yep, just one T.
Okay.
And you do a lot of TikTok debates, right?
Yeah, I do a lot of TikTok live debates.
Yeah, so if you guys want to see him debate, find his TikTok.
All right, here it is. I'm going to put this in the comment section here. Y'all go over and give the young man a follow if you haven't already. It's a fairly fresh channel in terms of subscribership. Let's see if we can get him up there in the stratosphere. I mean, us first, because seniority.
Get him on it. Get him up there. Get him up there. That's the future. You know, we're just some dudes that are.
Yeah, we're just some dudes, but he's the future. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whitney Houston said it right. I
He
believe
still has a lot to
it's-
learn. That's what
Yeah.
it is. We'll teach him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So thank you again. Make sure you all do that. Thank you again, Matt, for joining us. Mr. Lee.
Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will see you soon. Peace.
War.